Okay. This might be the most random question I've ever asked on the history of this show, which is now going on its almost third year. We're awesome.
Right.
Is Donald Trump good for plastic surgery?
That picture looks like he pooted.
He does look like he just got away with something bad, doesn't he? Yeah, so this is totally random. But you know, when I'm prepping for a show, I'm looking for
Is he a good candidate for plastic surgery?
No, is he good for the industry of plastic surgery?
Is anybody?
I don't know. We're going to talk about it. What do you think right off the bat before I even get into what this is? Is Trump good for plastic surgery?
Off the bat, I would say yes.
Okay, Trey's affirmative. Sarah's not convinced.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I feel like he looks like plastic surgery looked like in the 90s. He is the epitome
So
of
it could be retro
90s,
plastic surgery?
90s plastic
we're
surgery.
bringing it back?
When it was popular to be orange, bleach blonde hair, and
the 80s, people were kind of
big
orangey.
globe-sized boobs.
Big Madonna boobies. Okay.
Yeah.
So I found this article while I was searching for plastic surgery news. Throw up the pic, Trey, which may bring it all together. Economic optimism after Trump election win sparks plastic surgery boom in New York City, allegedly. I'm going to opine.
I thought that was more about, I feel like that's more about his economic things than not so much what he looks like, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I was
totally,
what?
absolutely. So Dr. Mark Epstein, I've heard this guy's name before. I think he's oftentimes making these odd claims. Is now claiming, this is a plastic surgeon in New York City, that economic optimism under Trump's second term is fueling a boom in plastic surgery in New York City. So is he right? Is he right? Well, I think sort of. I'm going to give him what's in the middle, halvesies. We'll give him a halvesies thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll say this
right.
year I got my investments in stocks, I got
Went up at the end of the year?
Yeah.
So historically, in election years, plastic surgery is down. I think we briefly talked about that.
Because that's a extra expense that you don't have to have, and people are
right. It's discretionary money, and in times of economic uncertainty, which is very common for people to believe there's economic uncertainty around elections.
Yes.
So in fact, whenever the fall rolled around, which is historically one of my busier times, we were doing surgeries and seeing patients, but I noticed that it was not as busy as it normally was. And so I started asking some of my colleagues and also asking people the breast implant reps, and they were everyone's dead right now. Apparently we were actually doing pretty good. But yeah, there was a huge decrease in plastic surgery around the election. And I kind of get it. I mean, when people are uncertain about what's going to happen, they're less likely to spend money on big ticket items. And so we definitely saw an increase after the election was over. Now, the question would then be, was it just the election, and is that the reason that there's suddenly a boom, is that the election's over? Or is, as Dr. Epstein is claiming, was that his name, Epstein? Yeah. Is it really because Trump won versus Harris winning? Meaning, would we be seeing the bump that we had the election gone the other way? Well, I think that that's debatable. There was a recent survey out, I think it was Pew Research, and it said that 60% of people do have good confidence in Trump to make good economic policy, which, okay, if people think that the economy is going to be better, then yes, they would be more likely to spend money on plastic surgery. But I guess maybe my biggest kind of beef about what this guy's claiming is this guy's in New York City. Trump lost New York City epically.
Yeah.
It was 70% to 30%. So I think that for him, it's probably just more about the election being over. I don't think that there's a lot of New York City people running around saying, oh, Trump won, I'm about to go get my boobs done.
Yeah.
Now, around where I live, I checked my county. I really thought my county might be blue. You know, I live in Denton County. It's kind of
Yeah.
we're a little
It's kinda
granola
like
up
Austin.
there. Like we're the granola part of the Metroplex. But actually, Trump did win 56-42. So yeah, maybe in my area, maybe Trump winning helped plastic surgery.
I think the city of Denton is the only
Yeah, it
more
is.
Democrat,
You're 100%
liberal
correct. It's
area.
the city of Denton, which is
Everywhere, Denton's pretty rural.
yeah. Everyone
Yeah.
outside of Denton County is probably pretty red or whatever, however you want to say it. So yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen articles from this guy before. I think he just like says random stuff and just to get publicity.
Yeah.
And somehow he's got connected with like the New York Post and they're like, oh, Dr. Epstein's saying
He's
that.
just like one of the
L-
contacts.
Probably so.
that they
Yeah.
have.
He's like, oh yeah,
do you
Trump's
think about
wins
that?
causing big boom, and people are gonna read that because it's kind of bizarre.
Some reporters probably just
Run with it.
Yeah.
Run it. Yes, it's Trump.
Do you agree with this blanket statement?
Yeah, right. I think that, the election being over is big. I was talking to people in other industries, and, it wasn't just plastic surgery that was down. I mean, the election
Yeah.
was hampering business in general. And I think that's totally independent of who was going to win or not win. I mean, this is not a political show, so we're not going to debate who's better for the economy. But definitely the election itself was a downer as far as, I mean, the whole thing was a downer. It was just like a bad series that you're watching. It's like you just want it to end. You're like, God, when is the last episode of this gonna happen? But yeah, once it kind of ended, then things started to pick back up. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's Trump. I don't know, maybe.
I
What do you
think
guys think? Is it Trump? Maybe?
I think that's isn't that the cycle of elections?
Yeah.
At the end of every election, people start spending more money.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just a Trump thing.
I don't
for
think it's
sure.
a Trump thing. I don't
Yeah.
either.